Hypersonic speed. Give this character a power action and move it up to its speed value. It automatically breaks away and may move through squares adjacent to opposing characters. During this move, this character may, as a free action, make one close combat or ranged combat attack with its range value halved for the attack. This character must be in a square where it could legally end its move in order to make the attack. If this character loses hypersonic speed before it finishes moving, it cannot continue moving and must immediately resolve the action. So we have the quintessential hypersonic figure, Superman. He's got hypersonic speed, super strength, impervious, and outwit. Let's cover the combinations with hypersonic. You can use super strength, you can use steel energy, and you can use enhancement. Here's an example of using hypersonic speed and super strength. So you have no tokens. You're going to say hypersonic attack on Cyborg. You can move and pick up an object with hypersonic. So you're going to move into a square adjacent to the object. You're going to pick the object up. Then you're going to go 1, 2. So that was 3 movement. 1, 2, 3. You picked up the object. You have a 12 attack versus a 17, so you need a 5. Your normal damage is 5. With the object, it'll be +2 since it's a heavy object, so you're doing 7 damage. He has invulnerability, so he'll reduce 2 of those damage and he would take 5 clicks of damage. In the scenario that gives you your most bang for your buck, if you have line of sight, which we do here, because line of sight crosses right here, so you're good, is outwit his invulnerability, because this Superman has outwit. Use your hypersonic to make a close combat attack. On your way in, pick up the heavy object, and then now make the attack. It's still a 12 on a 17, but now he doesn't have any damage reducers, and he would have to take the full 7 damage. And then on your way out, you can come back here or whatnot. This is elevated. He is a flyer, so he can fly up over here or get off the map. One last final example. On this attack, when you hit Cyborg with the object goes away, and then you would be able to move. Another thing that I want to cover is, let's just say, after you use this object and it goes away, say there is another object here. Just say there is another object. After you made that attack, you can actually pick this other object up and carry it with you. So you can actually use the object here. Once it goes away, if there is another object on the map, you can pick that up if you still have movement and continue on, get out of the way. Here's an example of using hypersonic speed and steel energy. This character has hypersonic and steel energy. I could make a ranged attack from back here and shoot, but because steel energy is affected only by close combat, this would not heal you back up. So this is what you want to do if you're going to use hypersonic and steel energy. You're going to hypersonic next to the character, make a close combat attack. You would deal damage, that's 3 damage. Nitro would take 3 clicks. Now that Nitro took the damage, steel energy would activate before you move and you would heal your click. You still have hypersonic and your movement went up from an 8 to a 9, so you would consider the 9 movement now from moving away. If by chance you use the steel energy, which it always activates on a close combat attack if you have the power and you deal damage, if when you heal up and you lose hypersonic to move away. So in this case, you still have hypersonic, so you can then finish with your movement to get away. If by chance you're on this click and you deal damage and you heal up, Genesis Fail now has run and shot. He lost hypersonic and he has to stay put. So this is how hypersonic works with steel energy. And the final combination that I want to show is hypersonic with enhancement. Enhancement can only be used by an adjacent friendly character making a ranged attack. At this point, Hawkman has no damage reducers, so Superman's outwit's really not going to help him that much unless he tries to make a close combat attack, but he doesn't need to since he has range. So to get more damage, he's going to want to get next to Cyborg when he makes a ranged attack to get that damage up to a 6. So what you do is just hypersonic next to a character that has enhancement, that's friendly character, and then now you make a ranged attack. 12 on a 17, enhancement gets him up to a 6 damage, and then you would shoot. when you make a ranged attack using Hypersonic, you half your range. So Superman's range is 8, now it's a 4. But Hawkman is within range, so it's only 3 away, so he can still make that attack. And then it's a 12 on a 17 for 6 damage. He would take 6 clicks of damage, and you have an 11 movement, and you've only used 1 of your movement. So you still have 10 more squares you can go after you make that attack. So you can just go across the board, you can come around here, you can do whatever, but you only use 1 to get there, so you still have 10 more movement after you make that attack. Now we're going to cover Hypersonic, dealing with mystics and critical misses. So we have Superman here. He is going to attack Scarlet Witch with a Hypersonic close combat attack. He is going to Hypersonic into a square adjacent to her, make a close combat attack, and if he rolls for his attack and rolls a crit miss, he would immediately take 1 click of damage for the critical miss. Now, if he loses hypersonic speed, he cannot continue on with his hypersonic speed. So you take the click of damage, and he has charge. So he lost hypersonic speed, now he cannot continue on with his movement. So that's what happens when you roll a crit miss with hypersonic speed. Also, while using hypersonic while attacking a mystic character, when you hypersonic next to the character, or if you shoot the character in the middle of a hypersonic close combat attack or ranged attack, at the point when you do damage and hit the character, they would take the damage. This would actually KO Scarlet Witch. Then you would take the mystic damage. When you take the mystic damage, if you lose hypersonic, then you have to stay in that square. But if you take the mystic damage and you are on your next click and you still have hypersonic, you could then still continue on with your movement. Take the click, and we have charge. So the action ends and you cannot finish with your hypersonic because you lost the hypersonic power.